So based on the audience that you have, you've learned about what they're into, what they're looking for,
Exactly.
and you've curated the collection based on
Yes.
those needs. That's a smart play. I like that.
So I read it in a book.
Did you?
What's up, guys? My name's Chris. I'm an entrepreneur in Sarasota. This year, I'm sitting down with business owners to learn all about their journeys, their triumphs, their struggles, and everything they've learned along the way. Today, we're discussing how to grow your small business by listening to your audience with Barbara Barone of Brant's Books. This is Stir.
Barbara, tell us, who are you?
So the store has been open since 1956. So we've been in business over 64 years in Sarasota. I worked for the original owner when I was a kid at that location on the wall over there. It was an old army barracks from World War II. They had brought it down from the Venice airport and moved it to the location, the original location on Bee Ridge and 41.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, my dad had a lawnmower shop next door, and basically what happened is I'd go there for the summers, and he got tired of seeing me, so he's like, go find something to do. So I went next door to the bookstore, and Mr. Brant, the owner, hired me for 25 cents an hour to sweep floors and put books away. But I never did that. I always cuddled up in a corner with a book and just read the whole time. So I grew up in the store. When Mr. Brant passed away, my mom bought the store. And then we redid the whole thing. It was kind of a family business. When she passed, almost 20 years ago, at that point I took it over and did it myself. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I usually ask is, why did you get into the business you're in? But you have been ingrained in books since you were just a little one.
Yeah. Mom used to read to me a lot. So, of course, I loved books. And my mom loved books. And I loved my mom. And we were always going to run the business together. And, of course, when she passed, that wasn't happening. But I just took it over because I loved it, and I thought it would be a great business for my kids to grow up in.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really important to save a bookstore like this that has so much in it, you know, and was such a asset to the community.
Aside from the pandemic, from a business side of things, what do you know now that first year Barbara would have no clue about?
So I started from scratch. So I went to the business section and I read every single book I could about running a business and motivational and all that. So I think I've read everything in the business section. So I learned a lot on paper, but that's not real world skills that you learn in business.
Right.
So in business, I've really changed a lot over the years, always kind of tweaking and trying to see what works. I listen to my customers a lot because they tell me what they need. With my inventory, I don't think that a store like this, you know, might be as popular in other areas, but I've cherry-picked all these books to fit the needs of my customers.
So based on the audience that you have, you've learned about what they're into, what they're looking for,
Exactly.
and you've curated the collection based on
Yes.
those needs. That's a smart play. I like that.
So I read it in a book.
Did you? You know, when you were saying that you read the business section, I thought, well, what a great place for resources. You have it right
I read
here
the
at your
entire
disposal.
business section. I made notes. I did, you know, my resources are my books. And
Right.
so that's where I learned everything. Or most of it. A lot of it I learned from trial and error. I've made a lot of mistakes, but
Okay.
those mistakes lead to another brilliant idea of, oh, maybe I can do it this way.
I see. So you make a mistake, and then you learn why you made the mistake.
I've done some really, really big ones too.
Oh yeah, me too. Don't feel bad.
As an entrepreneur, I think you have to do that always.
For
I
sure.
mean, you can't just say, well, this is going to be my business and this is how I'm going to do it. You have to look at the big picture. And if somebody comes in and says, you know, you guys need more, I don't know, gardening books. I mean, I'm going to listen to that and I'm going to make my gardening section bigger because if enough people do that, I know it's important.
Right.
So listening to people's needs and what they need and what they want has been a part of what I think is important. I think customer service too, because I love my customers. Obviously, I love to talk, so I always have conversations with the people that come in, and I know that they have lots of options for shopping.
Right.
And so for them to come in here, it's an honor. I mean, literally, it is an honor. I want them to feel important. I want them to know how important they are to me, because they're the reason that the store has been open this long. It's not just because I love books. It's because they come in and choose to shop here and support my store.
So you mentioned running the store as a single mom. What was one of the biggest things that helped you, I guess, manage your time? That's like 2 full-time jobs.
One of the reasons I took over the business with my mom being gone and all that, as much as I loved it, I also realized it gave me the opportunity to go to every single music show and, you know, soccer thing. And if my kids got sick, they could sit with me at the store. So for me, it was a perfect match. It wasn't perfect, but if I had worked a 9-to-5 job, I wouldn't have seen my kids as much. So I balanced it and said, yeah, it stinks. You guys are going to grow up in the store, but on the other hand, you're going to grow up in the store. So,
Sure.
you know, I just tried to balance that, and I wanted to spend more time with my kids because that was important. And so I saw that as an opportunity instead of, you know, I mean, when you're a single mom, it is what it is.
Right.
You know, you're doing it yourself. I spent a lot of late nights listing and sorting, and, you know, I
Sure.
don't think I slept much. But once again, I got to spend time with my kids.
Right.
So
Why do you think, especially in the time, a digital age, when it seems attention span is about this big, why do you think it's important to have a local bookstore?
I mean, it's a safe place, and we need safe places moving forward,
Yeah.
where we're able to just be who we are, you know, where there's no judgment. At the old store, we had a gentleman who was, I mean, literally, I don't think there was one place that wasn't tattooed and pierced, and, you know, he was a very good customer. He used to come in and and all that stuff. And then I was working in the front, I looked back, and he was all bent over talking to this little old lady, right? Little hair up and all this stuff. And they were having the most intense conversation about a book. And I was like, wow, like these two groups of people that would never meet in any other
Sure.
space were sharing about a book. This is bringing people together. And it just, it made me feel so good that I could create an environment where two people, not judging, not, you know, anything. It was just two people discussing like interest.
Right.
I love that. That's exactly what I want this store to be. It's not only a bookstore, I want to make it like a community place. I want it to be a safe place. I think when people come in here, I love to have my soft music and my candles, and the world is crazy. I want people to come in here and be like, wow, I can just peace out a little bit. You know, I might get crazy back out there, but in here I can have a little bit of a peaceful moment, you know, for a lunch break or an after work or something like that. The store has brought me great peace in so many ways, and I feel like it's kind of a way to kind of pass it on and, you know, create a really cool environment for the community. So,
Well, Barbara, I appreciate the time.
sure.
Thanks for having us here.
Of
I love
course.
it, and wish you huge success in the
Thank
future.
you. Thank you so much. Thanks.